This is week 8, so I hope that you watched the first video, which was introducing key signatures. You may have to watch it a couple times, especially if this is new to you. It's a little tricky to understand, and remember that page 72 in Keyboard Fundamentals is a good place for you to read as well. There's some practice key signatures there that I hope that you take the time to fill out, and we'll also do some in class this week too to help you feel comfortable with it. So your assignment for pieces is on pages 73, 74, 75. So the first new thing is that you're going to be able to figure out the tonic by following that key signature. The second thing is that these pieces are built not in a 5-finger pattern where we've got tonic on the bottom of our hands, but they're built in a full scale. So the pattern for a full scale is tonic, whole, whole, half, whole. That's how far we went with 5-finger. Now we're adding on the last 3 notes so that the first note and the last note of our pattern will be an octave or the same note. So we're adding on another whole, and another half. We're going to do that by splitting between our hands 4 notes in 4 or 5 and 3. It's really up to you how you want to split it. So let's work through a couple of these first pieces together because we've got lots of new concepts here. So if you're taking a look at page 73, the first piece we have here is German melody number 1. So first you have to figure out your key signature so you know what is tonic. You don't have to figure it out twice in treble and bass. It's going to come out the same. So pick whichever clef you are more comfortable with. So remember, according to the video that you watched previous to this one, my shortcut for figuring out a key signature with sharps is to find the name of the last sharp. Here's the key signature right here for German folk song that I wrote. This case is the only sharp. It has my top line going through it, so every good boy does fine. So it's an F sharp. You're going to find an F sharp on your keyboard. You're going to go up half a step. That tells me that tonic is G. So now to build my major scale, I'm going to start with that left hand and I'm going to put a finger 5 on tonic just like I did before. And I'm going to walk up my hand, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to let my right hand help out and bring in a thumb, a second finger, and a third finger. You can adjust this though. If you don't like 5 and 3, you can do a 4 and 4. So make sure you choose the right G. I've got top space G here. So I'm going to build my G scale. So here's my tonic. Now following my new pattern, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. And you can see there's that F sharp now that was in my key signature. These are the 8 notes that are used in German melody number 1. So from here then, I would count it, I would clap it, practice reading your letter names if you're still trying to get one clef set up or getting proficient at reading those letter names, and watch those intervals. Notice that you've also have that new time signature of 4/4, so watch your counting. Let's take a look at the second one, German melody number 2. All right, so now I've got a key signature in flats. Again, I don't have to figure it out twice. On the previous video, I told you for flats, the trick was the next to last flat. I've only got 1 flat, so that isn't going to work. So 1 flat, my best advice to you is instead of thinking through that circle of fifths, which is how I explained the root of key signatures, I would just simply memorize that 1 flat is a tonic of F. It is not the key of F flat because here's my F line, there's no flat up here. Here's an F space, there's no flat up there. Remember, as we said in our key signature video, all of your other key signatures in flats do have flat in the name. This one does not. So if I'm setting up my major scale pattern for German melody number 2, tonic with finger 5 in my left hand is going to be F. To find where the rest of my fingers are going to go, I'm following my new pattern, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Those are the 8 notes that I'm going to need in German melody number 2. Notice also on German melody number 2 that our time signature is 3/4. So 3 beats in a measure, but take a look at this first measure. It's only 1 beat there. This is called an anacrusis or a pickup. Here's the other 2 down here. A composer can do that if they're trying to start, a lot of times lining up words or syllables. They can start with an incomplete measure as long as the first measure and the last measure equal the time signature. So when you start to play this one, make sure that you count those first 2 invisible beats and then come in on the beat 3. On this one, watch your 8th notes as well. 8th notes, quarter, quarter, half. No. So this is a great one to put your metronome on an 8th note beat, just like we were working on in class last week. When you turn the page, you've got 4 pieces here on 74 and 75, all using this major scale position. It's your choice. I'll accept any of these for your quiz 6th grade of this week. Let's do 2 more of the key signatures together, and then I'll let you figure out the last 2 on your own, and we'll review those in class. On page 74, Theme by Beethoven has a key signature of 2 sharps. So again, my shortcut is to find the last sharp. So the last sharp that was added. So going over from my treble clef, that would be my 3rd space, F, A, C. So that's a C sharp. Remember to find it as a sharp. Going up half a step tells me that tonic is D, or this is in the key of D. So to set up my hand position for Theme by Beethoven, tonic is D, whole, whole, half, whole. Here comes my right hand, whole, whole, half. Notice I have 2 sharps or 2 black keys. That's just what that key signature is telling me. Again, on your quiz, I'm looking for correct spelling of your scale position, that you've lined it up in the correct key, and that you have the correct rhythm. So make sure you're getting that great 2-to-1 ratio on those 8th notes to those quarters. Let's figure out one more together. French folk song on the bottom of 74. So here comes 2 flats. So with this one, remember, we couldn't use our trick for 1 flat, but otherwise our shortcut for flats is the next to last flat is tonic, or the name of the key. So I'm going to go to the end. I'm going to back up 1. Second line, I'm in bass clef, great, big. So it's a B, and this is telling me that all B's are flat. So my tonic is B flat. Make sure that you watch on French folk song here. Notice that you've got both hands in bass clef. So I'm going to choose this B flat way down here to spell tonic, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. There's my position. They do have a thumb tuck here. You can use a finger 3. We do have a finger there. They're saying that you might find it more comfortable to go down on a thumb so that you don't have to manipulate 4 and 5 individually. I personally would change that to a 3 and stay right in my hand position. So see if you can figure out the tonics on page 75 for French folk song and German folk song, and we'll do those together in class. So key signatures, memorize what the shortcuts are, figure out how to figure out what they are, make sure that you're setting them up in the right register, and then watch your rhythm, and then it's your choice here for quiz 6 of one of these examples on 74 and 75.